this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Well, if you want to save taxes, please listen up because taxes are heading up in a hurry. And taxes come in different shapes and forms and sizes, folks. A couple of these are pretty staggering, but the reality is this. If you have a required minimum distribution and you were eligible or forced to kind of hit that age last year, you were able to push that into the following year, but you have to take it by April 1st. If you don't take it, it's a 25% penalty. But the other thing is, I call it April Fools RMD Day, right, by April 1st, is you then get stuck into having to pay 2 RMDs in the same year, which is a way for the government to get a little bit more pound of flesh back. See, you can't defer these accounts forever. There was an interesting article out in Morningstar. It was titled, Brace Yourself for Higher RMDs in 2024. And it's because of how well the market ran up last year. You have to take the value of the IRAs to determine your RMD at the end of the prior year. So you could have your accounts come down, like 21 going into 22. People were up in 21, but they had to take the RMD in 22 based on the values of 21. And then the market obviously took a big, almost 20% dump in 2022. Folks, don't let this happen to you. Go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. And let me teach you a couple things that have really helped like your friends and neighbors all around this country. One is to get yourself away from this crazy runaway inflation. See, when President Biden comes on and tells you that inflation is coming down, first, I think the numbers are manipulated anyway because nobody believes that inflation is 3%. But that may be somewhat factual. But what's fiction is just because the percentage of inflation is supposedly coming down doesn't mean the prices are, because they aren't. In fact, they continue to go up. And how do we know that? Well, I talk about in Hidden Wealth Radio, which all of our radio shows can be found at hiddenwealthradio.com. You don't want to miss, folks, because I talk about just the simple thing that hopefully most of us consume, which is deodorant. And deodorant has gone up 59%. 59%, folks. It's almost doubled from $4 to $8, which is hard to believe. But if that wasn't bad enough, a Five Guys bacon cheeseburger, a small fry, and a soda is now $22. So when they say, well, taxes aren't going to go up, or unless you make over $400,000, everybody's taxes go up with inflation. And here's the challenge. There's $7.23 trillion just proposed by this administration in the next fiscal budget that takes effect October 1st. And it's loaded with higher taxes, over $4 trillion of new taxes, doubling the capital gain tax rate up to 44.6%. So if you've got real estate and you've thought about selling it, or you've got a business, you've thought about selling it, like a number of you have reached out that we're working with, before this tax sale is over, because there's only about 20 months left in the sale before the Tax Cut and Jobs Act sunsets, and before these tax rates escalate and this inflation continues to go up, folks, protect yourself. Are you retirement ready? Because if you're in one of these big box store brokerages, solutions of supposed solutions where it's just accumulation phase, let's just accumulate. Many of you are reaching out saying, you know what? I need a distribution and preservation phase to my planning, not just this accumulation side. And many of you realize that the thing that's most predictable that you can control right now, especially while taxes are on sale, is the probability of getting better returns on your capital from the taxes that you can predictably save than focusing on the return that you hope will come. We protect from both market deterioration, unnecessary inflation, and getting rid of crazy, not needed taxation. Go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. Folks, if you really want to save taxes, because taxes are heading up in a hurry, go to retirementprotected.com. Be retirement ready. Don't fall victim to April Fools RMD Day. In fact, in a perfect world, this article goes on to say, you wouldn't have RMDs because you wouldn't have IRAs, and that would be less. Now get this, estate tax is an RMD, right? When you have to pay more tax out than necessary, that's that much less that you're going to leave. But then if you leave IRAs, now there's an inheritance tax. Let me teach you how to get rid of both. Strategies that I'll teach you this coming Tuesday at retirementprotected.com that will eliminate unnecessary taxes, get rid of inflation, staying ahead of it, and get rid of the unnecessary market deterioration. Because if this spending goes through, or even a fraction of it goes through, and knowing that the tax sale is going to come to a head, and knowing what we're facing, obviously, as a country, the time to protect ourselves is now to be sure you're retirement ready. Retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com.